Yo, what's going on, YouTube, and welcome back to Goal Line Hockey. It's your boy, Kevin Forte. Guys, today we're taking a look at the latest on the Seattle Kraken and the rumored players they will be selecting here in their expansion draft. Now that the protected lists have been brought in, and now we're getting an idea for who the Kraken, from little inside sources here and there, what the Seattle Kraken plan are for this draft. So, right off the bat, we're going to start off with the Chris Driedger stuff. Now, this seems like almost they are pretty much confirming that Chris Driedger is going to Seattle. And they already have an idea of a contract, how much he'll be making per season. So it'll be a $3.5 million cap hit per season, AAV. It's a 3-year deal, and he's 27 years old. So this takes him till he's 30, and it gives the Seattle Kraken a base as a goaltender to surround their team by. Now, there's also talk about Carey Price maybe coming to the Kraken, and then easily Chris Driedger becomes the 1B option, which he kind of was in Florida, but he kind of was a starter in Florida as well. So I wouldn't be surprised if they did go in that direction with Carey Price, but if they really like Chris Driedger on a much cheaper contract, this may be the guy they go with. Now, like I said, he's 27 years old. Last season, in 23 games, he won 14 of those 23 games, going 14-6-3 during the regular season, a 927 save percentage. And over his career in Florida, was able to hold down a 930 save percentage. He has a 2.07 goals against average last season. And this is the kind of guy that you can build as a starting goaltender. And again, it took him a little while to develop. This was a guy that was in the ECHL just a few years ago, and now is going to be getting starter money with the expansion Seattle Kraken. So very exciting news here for Chris Driedger. Obviously, for the fans in Seattle, as I think a lot of people were expecting Driedger to be going to the Seattle Kraken. There were a couple of other teams in the mix, like the Pittsburgh Penguins, maybe the New Jersey Devils, but it seems like Driedger is heading to Seattle. Okay, so that's enough for Chris Driedger. Now we're going to move on to the Carolina Hurricanes' Jake Bean, as it seems like he is likely to be selected from the Carolina Hurricanes. Ron Francis, if I'm not mistaken, drafted Jake Bean back in 2016. And Jake Bean's a pretty good defenseman. He had 12 points in 42 games with the Carolina Hurricanes last season. He's a former AHL player, former AHL Defenseman of the Year. Take with that what you will, but it does mean something. He's 23 years old, so he's still fairly young. He still has a lot of potential in the league, and he still has the potential to be a top 4 defenseman in the NHL. Not to mention a right shot defenseman, which those are hard to come by. A puck moving defenseman, kind of like a guy like a Tyson Barrie or a Dougie Hamilton. Anywhere in that range is where a lot of people see Jake Bean's future. And this is a guy that could really help settle things in Seattle in the future. The problem is the Hurricanes have a lot of defensemen already there. You look, Jacob Slavin, right? You've got guys like, love him or hate him, you have a guy like Brady Shea, Brett Pesce. You have all those guys in there, and it makes it more difficult to keep everybody around. And unfortunately, Jake Bean is going to be going to the Kraken. It seems more likely than not. Continuing along, Mark Giordano, the captain of the Calgary Flames at this point, seems destined for the Seattle Kraken. He had 26 points in 56 games last season with the Calgary Flames. The price that is rumored to be out there for Seattle to not take Mark Giordano is a first and a third. And depending on what Seattle would pick other than Giordano, it may be a first, a third, and another player, which is that worth it for a team like Calgary? And I think we saw from the Vegas draft, maybe it's better off not giving that up, not giving the first, the third, and whatever other player they choose. It's not worth it. We're likely going to see Mark Giordano going to the Seattle Kraken. He's 37 years old, like I said, the captain of the Calgary Flames. And there is rumors out there that he may be flipped to another team out on the West Coast, either a team like Vancouver, who's looking to add another defenseman, maybe even the Edmonton Oilers. I think they got their quote-unquote guy in Duncan Keith. But don't be surprised if they circle around on Mark Giordano again, because the rumors have been out there before. And now we're moving on to the Vladimir Tarasenko stuff. Vladimir Tarasenko is likely going to get selected from the St. Louis Blues. Now, there's other guys that Seattle could select from the Blues. Guys like Sammy Blais, as well as Vince Dunn. But it seems like Tarasenko, there's already a plan with the Seattle Kraken with Vladimir Tarasenko. On pace, usually he's good for 30 to 35 goals per season in an 82-game schedule. He had 14 points in 24 games last season. Again, he had a shortened season the last couple years because of those 3 shoulder surgeries that he's had. So there is some concern there. He is 29 years old, so he still hasn't hit that big 30 mark. So there is still some value in a guy like Tarasenko. And like I said, the multiple surgeries to his shoulder have kind of rippled the relationship. The whole captaincy situation, giving it to O'Reilly over him. I think that stuff is kind of, built up to a point where that relationship is just meant to end. But the interesting part here is Tarasenko is likely to be flipped from the Seattle Kraken to the Philadelphia Flyers. That is the latest we've been hearing. So that the Philadelphia Flyers really like a guy like Vladimir Tarasenko, and it seems like the Seattle Kraken already have plans for Tarasenko. The second he steps into Seattle, he probably won't be there very long. And that's kind of the latest on the news we've been hearing about the Kraken. Again, we're going to hear everything Wednesday night at 8 o'clock, probably closer to 8:30 as the expansion draft begins. But very interesting here for the Seattle Kraken is, like we said, we're going to start hearing this stuff now, players that they're likely going to take. Chris Driedger already seems like he's pretty much waiting to put pen to paper, signing with the Seattle Kraken. Tarasenko potentially already being flipped before he's been even drafted. So keep up with all of this. If you want to keep up with all of this, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and an even bigger subscribe down below. Guys, thank you for all the love and support from this channel over the last couple of days. This channel has been booming recently. We've had like 15 or 20 subscribers in the past week, not even. So thank you so much for all of that. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you guys next time.